Heaven's gavel has already struck. The decree is in motion. What they fought to bury in silence is now roaring into your spirit like a war trumpet at dawn. Chosen one. The countdown is over. Destiny is no longer knocking. It's kicking the door off its hinges. This is not a message. This is a summons. The blueprint written over your life before the foundations of the earth is unfolding in real time. Every shadow assignment, every delay, every invisible chain shattered. The code they feared you'd decipher has already detonated. And what's coming for you is not just a breakthrough, it's an invasion from the kingdom. If your spirit is burning right now, declare it, type your fiercest blessing, and 7,777 inch the comments. Not as a gesture, but as a battle cry heaven cannot ignore. And to every soul who has carried this channel with your prayers, presence, and even your super thanks, you are woven into this prophetic strike. Stay with me until the final word. What I'm about to reveal will not just open your eyes, it will set fire to the ground you're standing on. Chosen one. We begin now. God's chosen ones. They feared you'd see this on Saturday. Too late now. This is not just a date on the calendar, it is a summons, an appointment written in the ink of eternity. It is a return, not merely to a place, but to your inner knowing, to the holy archives etched into your spirit before you even drew your first breath. It is a return to the covenant that was spoken over you long before the noise of this world tried to drown it out. The words of Isaiah still resound through time. The former things have taken place, and new things I declare. Before they spring into being, I announce them to you. Isaiah 42:9. For months, perhaps years, you have felt the tension like a bow drawn back. Unseen, but loaded with destiny. Have you ever noticed how some seasons of your life seemed to stall? Not because you were unworthy, but because heaven was building the foundations beneath you. Architecturally speaking, a cathedral's tallest spire rests on stone, hidden deep underground. Without that unseen depth, the visible beauty would collapse under its own weight. You have been under that same divine engineering. But now, the signal is clear. This Saturday, what was once distorted by fog will sharpen into sight. Like the moment a telescope aligns with a distant star, the Apostle Paul's words echo, "For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face." 1 Corinthians 13:12. That veil between your unseen promises and your visible reality is thinning. The dreams you have held in secret, the ones you stopped speaking aloud because you feared another disappointment, are stepping out of the shadows into form. And yet, why this moment? Why now? Could it be that the enemy's greatest fear is not your failure, but your clarity? History gives us warning in the figure of King Saul, who, when threatened by David's rising anointing, allowed jealousy to turn him into his own undoing. He misread the signs and fought against God's choice, and in doing so, he lost the kingdom entirely. How many in your life have misread you in the same way, not realizing that opposing you was opposing the very hand of God? Outside Scripture, the pattern is visible. The renowned painter Vincent van Gogh once said, "Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together." For years, he painted without recognition, his work ignored and ridiculed. Yet each stroke was laying the groundwork for the immortality of his art. You too have been gathering these small, unseen moments, and now they converge. Nature itself whispers of this timing. The rare desert bloom waits years for the exact alignment of rain, temperature, and sunlight before it bursts into color. What would happen if that moment was delayed or stolen? The beauty would wither before it had a chance to be seen. This Saturday is your bloom, the point where all the hidden conditions finally meet. Still, the question lingers: are you ready to step into the visible realm when it happens? Jesus once told his disciples, "Blessed are the eyes that see what you see," Luke 10:23. Your eyes will see something others cannot. And with that sight comes responsibility. You are not just receiving, you are stewarding a fulfillment that generations before you longed to touch. Do not be like Judas Iscariot, who stood within arm's reach of the Messiah, yet chose silver over salvation. He serves as a stark reminder. Proximity without alignment leads only to ruin. Those who oppose you now, knowingly or not, are writing their own ending. So, stand. This is your summons. This Saturday, step into the focus, into the unveiling, into the covenant being fulfilled. The time of preparation is closing. The era of manifestation is here. As Joshua declared to Israel before crossing into their promise, "Sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you." Joshua 3-5. They feared you would see this. Now you will, and nothing will ever be the same. You have walked through seasons where the silence felt like abandonment, where the long corridors of waiting made you second-guess the very voice that once felt so clear. Yet this Saturday will stand as your undeniable confirmation. You were never delusional. You were not reaching for shadows. You were not guilty of dreaming too high. You were discerning something real, sacred, and meticulously tailored to the blueprint God placed in your soul. For the vision is yet for the appointed time, though it linger. Wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. Habakkuk 2-3. The enemy wanted you to confuse slowness with failure. But in the courts of heaven, every delay was a signature of precision. Even the stars take millennia to align in their appointed constellations. Why would your destiny be rushed when it was crafted to outlast generations? Think of the seed buried deep beneath winter soil. To the untrained eye, it looks lifeless, forgotten, yet inside, the pressure, the darkness, and the cold are sculpting its moment of breakthrough. In the same way, your delays were never denials. They were the rich soil that matured the roots of your faith. Could it be that this moment was not just waiting for you, it was waiting for the version of you who could carry it without breaking? The seasons that felt barren were actually seasons of invisible architecture, where every unseen layer of strength was laid like the foundation of a fortress. Just as the mountain stream patiently carves through solid rock to form a canyon of breathtaking depth, so has your persistence carved a spiritual authority in you that no storm can erode. The delay was not a punishment, it was a divine refinement, a hidden strategy. God's protection sometimes wears the disguise of unanswered prayers. Just as the pearl is born from the patient resistance of an oyster against the grain, your reward has been forming in the hidden chambers of time. Jesus himself told his disciples, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." John 13-7. How many times did you keep moving forward when no one else saw what you were aiming for? Even in those silent stretches, heaven was rethreading your life like a master weaver, pulling gold through a tapestry. Every knot, every pause, every turn was deliberate. And now, the once abstract pattern is becoming visible, revealing that nothing was wasted. Nature speaks the same truth. The eagle does not rush its flight after molting. It waits until new feathers are strong enough to face the storm. Your inner compass, forged through quiet obedience, has kept you aligned with the coordinates of the promise. Now the coordinates match the moment. Your faith will no longer be the lone voice in the room. Your eyes will see what your spirit has known all along. And when that moment arrives, it will be like the first rainfall on a drought-stricken land, pulling life from what once seemed dead. You will not just step into the promise, you will recognize the scent, the texture, the rhythm of it, because you have carried its blueprint in your spirit for so long. Art has prophesied this rhythm of waiting and reward. In Andrew Lloyd Webber's Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Joseph endures betrayal, slavery, and prison. Yet at the appointed time, his gift places him before Pharaoh, and the dream he carried since youth bursts into fulfillment, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Habakkuk 2-3. The song, "Any Dream Will Do," becomes more than melody. It is the echo of a truth you now embody. Dreams given by God outlast betrayal, outlast delay, and outlast every false verdict spoken over you. And, just like Joseph, when your fulfillment comes, it will arrive suddenly in the eyes of others, but will feel ancient to you because you have been living inside the promise long before they could see it. Your story will stand as a living parable to those still in their season of waiting. So when that day comes, will you step into it with the humility of a servant or the entitlement of a man who thinks he made it happen on his own? This is not just an ending to your waiting, it is its transfiguration. The wait is turning into reward, not a light, forgettable token, but a treasure drenched in holy significance. As Proverbs 10:22 declares, the blessing of the Lord brings wealth, without painful toil for it. This reward will not weigh you down with sorrow, it will clothe you in joy, because you didn't just survive, you expanded. Your spirit became a cathedral, spacious enough to hold this moment. And now, like the sunrise breaking over the horizon after the longest night, your time has come. Those who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy. Psalm 126:5. Chosen, one rise. Step into it. The silence is over. The horizon is open. And the reward has already been written in your name. Every step you took in the shadows was an act of construction, like a master architect drafting blueprints for a cathedral that would stand for centuries. You didn't merely let the days roll past you, gathered fragments of wisdom and fit them together like precision-engineered gears in a celestial clock. This Saturday, something in the unseen mechanics of your life will click into place. You will sense it before you see it, like the way a musician feels the vibration of a perfect note before the audience even hears the sound. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10 is not a call to inactivity. It is an instruction to tune your spirit to the exact frequency of divine timing. And when that frequency finally resonates through your being, it will be as if every unanswered question in your past finds its place in the grand design. The quiet rooms of your history will echo with purpose. You haven't been wandering without direction. You've been aligning with coordinates set long before your birth. This moment, your moment, will register in your spirit before it fully takes form in your vision. You will feel it in your body, in the subtle architecture of your breath, in the steady rhythm of your pulse. As if your very biology has been waiting for this convergence, the shift will come not with noise, but with a resonance, the way a bridge hums quietly before it bears the weight of a great procession. Could it be that heaven's most profound announcements arrive not with thunder, but with the stillness that reshapes everything? When this awareness dawns on you, even your memories will seem to realign themselves, showing you that not a single step was wasted. You will realize that your entire life has been moving toward this exact intersection in time. There will be a stirring in you. Yes, but also a strange calm, the energy of anticipation without the heaviness of fear. It will feel like the pause between two movements in a great symphony, that breathless silence where every note played so far makes sense, only in light of the note that is about to come. Even the world's most chaotic voices cannot drown it out. Because it doesn't live in the realm of volume, it lives in the realm of recognition. As Jesus said, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me." John 10:27. And when you hear it, you'll know this voice has been with you all along, guiding your steps. Even in seasons where you thought you were lost, it will be like hearing your own name called from the other side of eternity. This is the kind of calm that doesn't just say, "I'm ready." It says, "I'm ready now, because you are." And when that divine readiness meets human readiness, reality bends. It is the physics of promise, two frequencies locking into perfect resonance, producing a standing wave that cannot be undone. In that moment, you will understand why you had to wait, why you had to grow, why certain doors had to remain shut until this precise second. And as you stand in that convergence, you will feel the weight of heaven resting lightly on your shoulders, not as a burden, but as a mantle. The strength you've built in private will now become visible in public. The hush you will hear is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of weight. It is the sacred pause that comes before elevation. The same way a climber stops to secure their footing before making the final ascent to the summit. Leonardo da Vinci once said, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." That simplicity is here, a holy stillness that makes room for God to finish the architecture of your unveiling. But in this stillness, when no applause distracts you and no spotlight blinds you, will you have the courage to see who you truly are without the noise? This hush does not merely whisper, "Watch closely." It carves the words into the very air around you, so that you cannot help but notice when heaven opens the next page of your story. And when that page turns, it will not just mark a new chapter, it will redefine the entire book, not as a dream that fades when you wake, not as a theory scribbled in the margins of your mind. You will see it in the rawness of reality, solid and undeniable. It may appear in a sudden message that feels like it was written before time began, or in a number that carries a personal meaning only you and God understand. It could be in the arrival of a person whose presence feels like the missing chord in a long-forgotten song, or in a single moment so perfectly timed it shatters the illusion of coincidence. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, James 1:17. And when it happens, you will know deep in your bones, this isn't random. This is the architecture of destiny, designed in the courts of eternity and unveiled at your appointed hour. Will you be able to recognize it when it's right in front of you? But with that nearness comes a test. In these final hours before the unveiling, distractions will try to pull you sideways. The pull might come dressed as urgency, as noise, as someone else's crisis, demanding your energy. Remember the wisdom of the late author Maya Angelou, who said, "Never make someone a priority when all you are to them is an option." The enemy would love for you to scatter your focus now, to treat the sacred as common. Be still, but not passive. Stillness here is not sleep, it is spiritual readiness, expectant, but not disparity, holding peace like a torch, not panic like a wildfire. What if the smallest compromise now cost you the moment you've been preparing for your entire life? History offers a sobering reminder in the figure of Haman, the high official in the book of Esther, who schemed to destroy God's people. In his arrogance, he built gallows for the righteous, yet those very gallows became the instrument of his downfall. Haman's story warns us: those who move against a divine timetable inevitably become trapped in their own designs. In the same way, forces that have been working against you will find themselves undone when God's moment arrives. Because this is not something you can force into being. You couldn't pry it open if you tried, and you were never meant to. This is something that has been circling toward you like an orbiting planet, finding its way to perfect alignment. It has been weaving through other people's decisions, bending closed doors into open corridors, and softening even the most guarded hearts, all so that it could arrive without strain or struggle. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. And when it lands, you will realize it was never late, only exact. When that moment comes, will you step into it boldly or hesitate and watch it pass? Chosen one, hold your ground. Protect your gaze. The next time you exhale, it could be in the presence of the very thing you have been promised. And when that moment meets you, rise into it without hesitation. Because heaven has already called your name. It is a beat that cannot be hurried and cannot be delayed. A frequency heaven has reserved for your elevation. And you, chosen one, whether you are aware or not, have stepped into its measure. You may not yet feel the full weight of it, but the alignment is already unfolding behind the curtains of the unseen. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. Just as the tide shifts under the moon's pull long before the shoreline changes, heaven has been moving in ways your eyes have not yet caught up to. Could it be that the silence you mistook for absence was actually the prelude to the most significant chapter of your life? You were never forgotten, not for a single breath. This day has not simply appeared on a calendar. It has been encircled on heaven's timeline since before you were born. And now, it is about to be circled in your own story. The confirmation arriving this Saturday will not just touch your mind, it will shock your soul. Steady your pulse and hush the questions that have been echoing in your spirit. For the vision is yet for the appointed time, though it linger. Wait for it, it will certainly come. Habakkuk 2-3. Think of the moment, a forest, after years of fire and regrowth, bursts again into a canopy of green. That sight is not the birth of new life, but the return of an original glory that had been temporarily obscured. When it appears, will you trust it enough to step forward without hesitation? You are not just about to see something, you are about to become something. Not a stranger to yourself, but the version heaven has always known, the one before the heartbreak, before the hardship, before the detours tried to rewrite your design. In the lion, the witch, and the wardrobe, Aslan's return melts the snow and breaks the witch's grip, restoring Narnia, not by creating something new, but by awakening what had been there all along. Is it possible that what you thought you lost was never truly gone, only hidden, waiting for the right season to be revealed? Your Saturday is your thaw. The frost of delay, loss, and misunderstanding is about to give way to the warmth of recognition. And here is the mystery: you are not becoming someone else. You are becoming the you that eternity remembers. The you who was woven in God's image before life's storms bent your branches. The you who still carries the scent of Eden in your soul. The glory of this present house will be greater than the glory of the former house. Haggai 2-9. Like a river that has been dammed and suddenly bursts free, your flow will not only return, It will carve new paths and water new ground. When the river of your purpose breaks open, will you be ready to steward its power? So, stand ready. Chosen one. The pulse you feel is not random. It is the heartbeat of heaven, drawing you into the fulfillment of what was promised. The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Psalm 138:8. And when it comes, do not shrink back. Step into it. Because what is arriving on Saturday is not merely a sign, it is your restoration. It is the answer to prayers you have forgotten you prayed, the completion of cycles you didn't know were ending, and the beginning of a chapter that will make sense of everything that came before. It is the meeting point of destiny and identity, the convergence of truth and timing, and it belongs entirely to you. You may have felt like you were falling behind in life's race, but this moment will silence that lie. The one who calls you is faithful, and he will do it. 1 Thessalonians 5:24. You were not delayed, you were reserved, like a priceless artifact kept under the watch of the Master until the exact day it is meant to be unveiled. In physics, resonance occurs when two frequencies match so perfectly that they amplify one another. This Saturday is your moment of resonance, when your internal frequency and heaven's timing lock into place, producing a power that cannot be undone. Have you realized that the very feeling of being out of step was proof that you were marching to a higher rhythm all along, and no one will be able to take it from you, not because you are shielded by human walls, but because it was designed for you at a molecular, spiritual, and eternal level. This is not just a blessing, it is a match. Like the keystone in a cathedral's arch, this moment was carved to fit your life with such precision that if you were missing, the entire design would feel incomplete. No one can snatch them out of my Father's hand. John 10:29. Your story and this appointed time are a divine fit, each making the other whole. The promise is finally finding its home in your reality. The dream you thought had gone dormant is stepping out from behind the veil. It's the architectural equivalent of a long-concealed chamber being revealed in a centuries-old palace, a room that was always there, but only now unlocked because the structure had matured enough to bear its weight. And here is where your story reflects the life of Filippo Brunelleschi, the genius architect behind the magnificent dome of Florence's cathedral. For decades, his design was thought to be impossible to build because no one possessed the techniques or the vision to realize it. Many mocked his plans, others tried to steal them, but failed because they did not understand the intricate details. Only he knew. Brunelleschi waited, refined, and guarded the vision until the tools, the materials, and the workers were ready. Then, at the exact moment in history, he unveiled a design that would stand for centuries, defying both time and human doubt. When your promise appears, will you guard it with the same courage until it takes its rightful place? And here's the part that will bring you to tears. This moment missed you, too. It has been circling, waiting, maturing, refining, not just for you to be ready for it, but for it to be ready for you. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. Proverbs 13:12. Just as a symphony's final movement is incomplete without the orchestra's readiness, this promise waited for the harmony of your spirit to meet its own. Now, the score is written, the conductor's hand is raised, and the first note is about to break the silence. Can you feel the air shifting in anticipation? So, chosen one, do not doubt the perfection of this timing. Do not minimize the magnitude of this match. Step into it without apology, because the moment God prepared for you has finally arrived, and it remembers your name. You may have felt like you were stuck in an endless loop, caught in the tension between your dreams and reality. But every second of waiting was not wasted. It was all preparation. The divine timing was meticulously shaping you for this moment until you could hold it without breaking, until you could carry it with both grace and power, just as a seasoned sculptor chisels away the rough edges of a stone until it reveals a masterpiece. Heaven has been chiseling away at your life, refining your soul until you are ready for what is about to unfold. The Lord will perfect that which concerns me. Psalm 138:8. You were being carved into the vessel that could carry a destiny greater than you ever imagined. Have you noticed how the waiting itself has been shaping your spirit into something unshakable? Now, everything has aligned. Your hands are clean. You've let go of the weight of past mistakes. Your spirit is clear. You've forgiven. You've healed. And you've found peace. Your eyes are wide. You've opened yourself to the truth of what is coming. The cloud of doubt that once hovered over your vision is parting, and what you will see this Saturday will leave no room for uncertainty. It's unfolding, whether the world is watching or not, for we live by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5-7. This moment does not rely on external validation. It is anchored in the deep, knowing that this is the fulfillment of promises made before time began. And that is the power of the calling on your life. Things move for you in realms unseen before they ever manifest in the open. The greatest shifts in your life have always begun in the spiritual realm, far before they took shape in the natural world. You are feeling it now, that internal hum, the vibration of your destiny charging the atmosphere around you. It's subtle, like the faint sound of thunder before the storm, but it's growing stronger by the second. Just as the earth quietly shifts its plates to form mountains, the invisible world has been aligning itself to bring you into your fullness. Can you feel the weight of the world shifting around you, as if everything is being repositioned for your arrival? This hum is not a mere whisper. It's the call of destiny gathering power. And this Saturday, it will turn into a trumpet clear, strong, and undeniable. That silent preparation, those hidden moments when you thought you were alone, will suddenly burst into a public moment of manifestation. It will be like the moment an artist unveils a long-concealed masterpiece, and the world stands in awe of what had been waiting, tucked away, for just the right moment to be revealed. Think of the life of J.K. Rowling, the renowned author of the Harry Potter series, who faced countless rejections before her book was finally published. For years, she struggled in obscurity, feeling like her dream was too far out of reach. Yet during those years of rejection, she was being refined, her words being polished and her character tested. The world didn't see her success at first, but she did not stop. She persevered. And when the moment arrived, her books were not only published, they became a global phenomenon, just like her. You have been in a hidden place of preparation. Now, your moment has come to step into the light. What will you do when the world finally sees what you've been carrying all along? And there are those who have not understood your journey, who have doubted your rise. These are the ones who will, like King Saul in the Bible, try to put you in a box, to label you with their limited view of who you are. But just like Saul, they will find themselves displaced by your rise. The Lord has rejected him as king, 1 Samuel 16:23. Those who oppose your rise will be left behind, because what you carry cannot be contained by their small minds. Can you sense the trembling of those who once doubted you, now faced with the undeniable truth of your purpose? So, chosen one, Step into this moment without hesitation. It's not just about what you will see, it's about who you are becoming. The trumpet of your purpose is about to sound, and nothing will ever be the same again. The truth has always been there, hiding in plain sight. It's never been about whether you would see it, but when you have waited, you have toiled. But now, the moment you've been promised is approaching, and nothing can stop it. This Saturday, the heavens will move in ways they've never moved before, and you, chosen one, will step into the full awareness of what's been hidden from you. It's not about what's coming, it's about what's already been written and prepared, waiting for you to catch up. The Lord is not slow in keeping his promise, as some understand slowness. Instead, he is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. 2 Peter 3-9. And now, in the fullness of time, your moment arrives. You've felt it, haven't you? The stirring, the quiet whispers of a promise long dormant, now waking up. It's not that you've been overlooked. In fact, you've been preparing all along, just like a tree that spends years quietly growing its roots, unseen and uncelebrated, only to eventually push through the soil and stand tall, strong, and undeniable. You too have been quietly prepared. Your foundation has been built, layer by layer, not by human hands, but by the divine architect. Have you ever thought about how the greatest trees were once just small seeds, buried and unknown to the world? Now, you are the tree, poised for your season of visibility. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was divine construction. Can you sense the soil around you, stirring, preparing for what is about to break through? There were times when it seemed like the world moved without you, when it felt as if you were always a step behind, watching others take their place while you stayed in the shadows. You've seen others rise, their blessings and breakthroughs shining like the sun, but your time never seemed to come. You wondered, why not me, why not now? But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 40-31. The answer, chosen one, has always been the same. It wasn't your time yet. You weren't forgotten. You were simply being reserved for something greater. You were being prepared for a destiny too grand for the world to understand, too sacred to be handed out prematurely. What do you think God was doing while you were waiting? And now, it's too late for them, the ones who doubted you, who told you to move on, who laughed when you spoke of your future. They feared this moment, not because of what they saw, but because they knew what it meant for them. When you rise, when your purpose becomes undeniable, there will be no place for their doubts or rejection. This is not just about a breakthrough for you. This is about the breaking of chains that have held you back, and the chains that held others down as well. The moment you step into the fullness of your calling, everything that tries to stand in your way will dissolve like dust in the wind. And this is the beauty of your story. No one can take it from you, because this is your destiny, woven in a divine tapestry that no man can tear apart. It's been written, etched in the heavens. When the door opens on Saturday, nothing will stop you from walking through. Can you imagine what it will feel like to walk through that door, knowing it's your divine time? This moment will not just be a confirmation, it will be a culmination. The dream you've carried in your heart, the one you thought was too grand, too impossible, is about to step out of the shadows and into full view. It will no longer be an idea, it will be reality. Like a master artist revealing a painting that was long hidden behind a curtain, this moment will stun you with its brilliance. This is the breakthrough of your life. But it is also the moment that will take your faith to a level it's never been before. You will look back, and you will know this was the moment everything changed. What do you think will happen when your reality matches the vision you've always held? In the movie The Matrix, Neo, like you, had spent years trapped in a world that wasn't aligned with his true purpose. He felt something was wrong, but he couldn't yet see the full truth. When he finally began to awaken, he was led to a place where he could see beyond the illusion, realizing that what had always been around him was part of something much bigger. As Morpheus told him, the Matrix is everywhere. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. Neo had lived in a reality that was not fully aligned with his true calling. And when he was ready to see, the world shifted around him. Can you feel the world shifting now? Even as you've lived in it for so long, just like Neo, you have been awakening to the truth of your purpose. The veil is lifting, and you're beginning to see the true power of what you've been called to. What once seemed like a distant fantasy is now moving toward you, and soon it will be undeniable. You have been waiting, but the waiting was part of your preparation. The shift you feel now, like the sudden clarity Neo felt when he fully woke up to the truth, is only the beginning of your rise. Are you ready to see the truth of your purpose unfold before your very eyes? So, stand firm. Chosen one, your time is now. This Saturday, the heavens align. The promises manifest, and the work you've done in silence will finally be seen. The time for waiting is over. This is not just another day. This is the day you were made for. The season of uncertainty is over. The corridors where you once wandered, questioning your value, are now behind you. Your mind has shifted from asking for permission to walking in authority. You've risen, and in rising, you have entered a frequency. Few ever touch the frequency where heaven's instructions become clearer than the noise of the crowd. You will also be a crown of splendor in the Lord's hand, a royal diadem in the hand of your God. Isaiah 62:3. This is not arrogance, it's alignment. You've moved beyond the gravitational pull of small thinking, and now you orbit in the realm where purpose has weight. Can you feel how different the air is when you're standing at the altitude of your calling? Even the distractions that once called your name now sound distant and hollow, because your spirit no longer resonates with them. This is the psychological equivalent of reaching the breakthrough point, when the mind refuses to settle for anything beneath its true design. Because you've risen, you can now receive not scraps, not leftovers, but what has been measured and prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Saturday is not just about what will be shown to you, it's about what will be placed in your hands. In physics, there's a term called constructive interference, where two waves meet in perfect phase, amplifying each other's strength. This moment is that meeting, your readiness colliding with heaven's timing to create a surge impossible to contain. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights. James 1:17. The preparation inside you has been resonating quietly, like a tuning fork, waiting for the right note. And this Saturday, that note will strike. You won't have to chase it. It will meet you where you stand. And when it does, every previous delay will make perfect sense. Like scaffolding, removed to reveal a completed cathedral. But make no mistake, this is not merely a reward. This is a turning point. Rewards close chapters. Turning points rewrite the narrative entirely. You are not being applauded, you are being activated. In architecture, the keystone is the final piece placed at the top of an arch, locking all the stones into position so the structure can bear weight. This Saturday is your keystone, the moment that locks every past preparation into place so you can carry the assignment ahead. What if this moment is not the end of your climb, but the beginning of a whole new mountain? And mountains do not appear overnight, they rise slowly. Tectonic plates pressing with unimaginable force over centuries. The same pressure that built your struggle has also shaped your platform. This is not just a moment of standing tall, it is the laying of the foundation for the next chapter of your influence. This is not a pat on the back, this is a door swinging wide. A door that has a divine assignment etched into its frame. One that only responds to your touch. And what waits beyond that door is something you've been carrying in your spirit for years. Like blueprints sealed inside an architect's vault, designs that could not be released until the builder had both the tools and the authority to construct them. Write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. Habakkuk 2:2. That blueprint has been gathering detail with every trial you've endured, every lesson you've learned. The locking mechanism on this door was never about luck. It was about synchronization, your maturity aligning with the world's need for what you carry. When it opens, it will not creak slowly, it will swing with force, as if heaven itself pushed it from the other side. History shows us that such moments change everything. John Keating, the teacher in Dead Poets Society, once told his students, "No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world." Like those students, you've been sitting with ideas, visions, and assignments that have been waiting for their stage. The difference is, your stage is no longer hypothetical, it's here. And this Saturday, it will require not just your presence, but your voice, your courage, your full weight. Are you ready to speak what you've only carried in silence? You will not just step onto that stage, you will step into a role you were born to play. And once the curtain rises, there will be no going back, because the world will have heard your sound, and heaven will not let it be silenced. This Saturday is not merely another square on the calendar, it is a summons from eternity. It is a return to your inner knowing, that sacred chamber within you, where the voice of God still echoes, undimmed by the noise of the world. It is a return to promises planted like seeds long ago, promises that seem to fade under the weight of passing years, yet were never abandoned by heaven. For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. Romans 11:29. Have you ever stood in the in-between, holding a vision so long that it began to feel unreal, only to realize it had been maturing in secret all along? The Spirit has not been idle. Every delay was a stitch in the tapestry of your destiny. For years, you have moved through seasons where the silence felt endless, but heaven was calibrating you, preparing you as a master. Craftsman shapes a rare instrument before its first performance. Every trial, every unanswered prayer, every narrow escape was an invisible chisel shaping the contours of your character. He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. Philippians 1:6. This Saturday, the signal is no longer faint. It is clear, resonant, and unavoidable. The fog will dissipate. The blurred outline of your calling will solidify, and the hidden threads woven in your dreams will stretch into the realm of sight. It mirrors the journey of Esther, a young Jewish woman in exile who found herself crowned Queen of Persia for such a time as this. Esther 4:14. She endured years of preparation in secrecy before stepping into her decisive moment. What if your own obscurity has been your divine training ground, preserving you from premature exposure? Leonardo da Vinci, a man whose genius transcended art and science, once said, "Art is never finished. only abandoned. In the same way, God has refused to abandon the masterpiece He is making of you. You are not unfinished. You are perfectly timed. But where there is rising, there is always resistance. Remember Pharaoh of Egypt, so intoxicated by his own power that he hardened his heart against God's command to let his people go. His defiance not only destroyed his armies in the Red Sea, but also engraved his legacy in history as a warning against pride. In your own journey, how many have smiled in your presence while silently plotting against your ascent? The fear they carry is not of your past, but of your potential fully awakened. They dread the moment you realize you were never behind schedule, you were being positioned. And yet, signs have brushed past you, subtle, insistent, but often pushed aside. Not because you lacked faith, but because you were tired of the ache that comes from false starts. Like Elijah under the broom tree after calling down fire from heaven, 1 Kings 19:4, -5. There were days when you wanted to lay it all down. Yet the same God who whispered to Elijah in the quiet wind is speaking to you now. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1-9. Every closed chapter was not the end of the story, but the turning of the page toward its climax. This Saturday is your threshold moment. What was hidden will be uncovered. What belonged to night will walk in daylight. And when it happens, will you have the courage to step into it? Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Isaiah 60:1. Do not cower in the shadows you were born, for the stage of history heaven has prepared. Stand now, chosen one, shake the dust from your feet. This is the unveiling for which all of heaven has been aligning the pieces. The clock of eternity has struck your hour. Walk through the open door, for it will not remain open forever. You are not forgotten. Heaven's memory does not fade. You are being summoned into a story larger than your own. A chapter you never dared to imagine would bear your name. And yet, it is not arriving with the roar of earthquakes or the blaze of fireworks. It is coming quietly, like dawn slipping over the horizon. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:19. Have you noticed how some of the most life-altering moments begin without fanfare? How often have you missed the miracle because it wore the disguise of the ordinary? The beauty of what is coming lies in its stillness. For stillness has its own gravity. In nature, glaciers move so slowly that they seem still to the naked eye. Yet their quiet pressure shapes entire landscapes. In the same way, what God is doing in you carries weight far beyond what you see right now. The kingdom of God is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough. Matthew 13:33. Could it be that the very subtlety of this moment is its protection, shielding it from the noise that would try to distort it before it matures? Sometimes the shift is not a storm but a whisper. It can be a single sentence spoken at the right moment. Like the line from Victor Hugo's Les Misérables, even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. One conversation, one unexpected call, one brief meeting, and suddenly the road you thought had ended becomes a bridge to somewhere new. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in pictures of silver. Proverbs 25:11. How many times in your life has a small nudge changed the entire course of your steps? And when it comes this Saturday, do not dismiss it because it appears small. Seeds always do. Yet within an acorn sleeps a forest. And within a drop of water lies the power to carve valleys through stone. The mustard seed, Jesus said, is the smallest of all seeds. Yet when it grows, it becomes a tree where birds make their nests. Matthew 13:31, -32. Have you realized that God often hides the extraordinary inside the unimpressive, so that only those with eyes to see will treasure it? Do not be deceived by appearances. The cocoon looks lifeless before it splits to release the butterfly. The desert looks barren before spring rains awaken a field of flowers. Though your beginning was small, yet your latter end should greatly increase. Job 8-7. This Saturday, what seems like a whisper will carry the resonance of a trumpet in your spirit. When it comes, rise to meet it. Stand in the authority that has always been yours. Chosen one. Step forward. The seed is in your hand, but the tree is already in God's mind. The moment you honor the small, you inherit the great. This is your hour. Do not let it pass. This is a lifetime's harvest, compressed into a single moment, an entire season of sowing now converging into your hands, and it is yours. Not because you labored beyond human capacity, not because you pleaded until heaven finally relented, but because from the beginning you were chosen for it. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last. John 15:16. Have you realized the weight of what this means? This is not just a gift, it's a trust. Amantle, a commission written into the blueprint of your existence before you were even born. You were chosen to carry it, chosen to multiply it, chosen to protect it, and chosen to build from it. You have labored long in the dark, where no applause was given, where no one recorded the hours, yet every hidden act has been laying a foundation. It is like the vaulted ceilings of a cathedral, centuries in the making, where no one sees the engineer's calculations. Yet every arch stands because the unseen mathematics hold it in place. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Psalm 127:1. What would change in your spirit if you realized you've already been under divine construction for years? You have prepared without recognition, and now it is time to walk in undeniable favor. But here is the paradox. This moment is not solely for you. In physics, there is a principle called resonant frequency. When one object begins to vibrate at its natural frequency, it can cause another to do the same without physical contact. This is what will happen when you step into your moment this Saturday. Your breakthrough will cause a ripple in the spiritual atmosphere, triggering others to rise. For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. Romans 8:19. Have you considered that your courage might be the ignition someone else has been praying for? History remembers those who understood this reality. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a German pastor and theologian who opposed the Nazi regime, once said, "Action springs not from thought, but from a readiness for responsibility." He refused to remain silent when silence meant complicity. And though it cost him his life, his stand became a rallying cry for countless believers. What if your obedience becomes the very key that unlocks courage in those still trapped by fear? You are not merely receiving something, you are functioning as a gate, a key, a divine trigger. Keys do not boast of their design. They exist to open what is locked. And when they turn, everything beyond that door becomes accessible. To the one who overcomes, I will give the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 16:19. Your yes this Saturday will not only release your destiny, it will unbolt the chains around someone else's. Your visibility will become their courage. Your step forward will become their invitation. So stand, chosen one. Walk through the threshold prepared for you. This is the hour when your personal harvest becomes a field where others will eat and be satisfied. And when they ask how it happened, you will tell them, It was the architect of heaven who built it all along. Your breakthrough will be their blueprint, etched not in ink, but in the living testimony of your life. Heaven did not pull your name from a lottery. You were handpicked with precision, because you would guard the weight of this responsibility while still advancing with courage. For many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 22:14. Can you see the irony? What is about to arrive is wrapped in peace, not punnets. You imagined it would come through struggle, sweat, or one last desperate push, but instead, it will feel like the stillness after a storm, where the air itself tastes new. And that stillness will not be empty. It will be full of the hum of divine order, settling into place. It will feel like a bell ringing in your spirit. Not loud, but resonating so deeply that you cannot mistake it for anything else. This will be the moment when peace wins. It will be as if your soul exhales after years of holding its breath. Walls will not fall with explosions. They will dissolve in the presence of what God has decreed. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Isaiah 26:3. The very air around you will seem lighter, as if the gravity that once pressed you down has lifted. What if the absence of resistance is not weakness, but proof that the path ahead has already been cleared? What if the quiet you feel is not the absence of movement, but the smooth glide of a ship carried by a perfect wind? You will discover that sometimes the most powerful victories are the ones that arrive without noise. History is full of people who carried this kind of quiet authority. Jane Goodall, the renowned primatologist, once said, "What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make." She did not shout her influence into existence. She lived it in the field, day after day, until the world could no longer ignore it. That is the kind of steady, undeniable change your breakthrough will carry. And like her, you may not even notice the exact moment you become unignorable until doors begin opening, simply because your presence shifts the atmosphere. This is influence not bought, not demanded, but earned in the secret place. And when it arrives, it will not just move people's opinions, it will reorient their paths. But where light emerges, darkness does not retreat without a fight. Consider King Jeroboam of Israel. He was given a kingdom by God, yet in fear of losing power, he led the people into idolatry. 1 Kings 12:28-30. His reign ended not in the strength it began with, but in disgrace. His name, a cautionary tale of what happens when insecurity tramples obedience. How many people in your own life have sabotaged what God entrusted to them because they feared others might rise higher? How many have traded eternal impact for temporary control? In the kingdom of God, authority is not maintained through manipulation, it is sustained through surrender. Jeroboam's downfall is a reminder: if you protect your position more than God's purpose, you will lose both. This Saturday, you will not just see something, you will feel something settle into place. It will be like a puzzle piece sliding into its exact fit. The moment your spirit recognizes, this is it, and in that instant, the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:7. You will walk away from that moment, not louder, not busier, but clearer, stronger, anchored. The weight you carry will not crush you, it will stabilize you. The way a deep keel keeps a ship steady in rough seas. And as you step forward, people will sense the difference, not because you announce it, but because your very presence will announce itself. There is something you have been praying for, something that has been echoing through eternity. waiting for its appointed hour. This Saturday, that echo will return. No longer a sound in the distance, but a reality you can touch, and when it comes, you will look up and say, "This is what I was preparing for." But understand this, what you receive is not the whole harvest. It is the first fruit, the green light that says, "Proceed." Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. Zechariah 4:10. And like a single spark in a darkened theater, it will spread until the whole stage is ablaze with purpose. But when that spark lands in your hands, will you fan it into flame or let the embers die while waiting for something bigger? The next act of your life is about to begin, and heaven has already raised the curtain. This is your spark, chosen one. And once it catches, the stage of your life will burn, not with destruction, but with unstoppable purpose. Stand now. Step forward. Let this be the day history remembers as the one where you crossed the line from preparation into possession. Your breakthrough is not just yours, it is the blueprint for those who will follow your steps. And when they do, they will find that your footprints lead not to you, but to the one who sent you. Prepare your focus, and above all, prepare to recognize what is yours, because when it comes, it will bear your name as surely as the sunrise bears light. It will not arrive wearing confusion, it will carry the scent of recognition. When it touches your spirit, it will feel like walking into a home you've never seen, yet somehow know every hallway and window. As Jesus declared in John 10:27, "My sheep listen to my voice, I know them, and they follow me." And in that moment you will understand, not as theory, but as a reality that floods your spirit. Have you ever sensed that sacred familiarity with something your eyes have never seen, but your soul has always known? This Saturday, what you will witness was formed for your eyes alone, and no hand can remove it from you. There is a sacred unfolding in motion, and it is not chaotic, it is intentional. Precise, like constellations fixed in the night sky. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens, every high and low, every pause that felt like rejection, every not yet that bruised your heart. It was all part of a divine blueprint. Your timeline was never fractured. It was being built like the invisible rings inside a great oak tree, slow, hidden, but strong enough to withstand centuries. And when you stand in that truth, you see that every delay was a beam in the house God was constructing inside you. This Saturday will not come roaring in like a hurricane. It will arrive as clarity, like a morning glory opening at first light. As 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, "For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace." So the answers will not shout, they will settle. They will rest on you the way snow settles over a forest, soft yet transforming the entire landscape. They will rise in you and whisper, "You're not waiting anymore, you're walking now." What if the silence you feared was actually the sound of God finishing the foundation? It will come quietly, yet it will shake the unseen. Nature proves this truth. An underground spring can redirect rivers without a sound, and the migration of monarch butterflies can alter ecosystems without a roar. The psalmist's words in Psalm 46:10, "Be still, and know that I am God," carry more force than 1,000 thunders, because heaven's greatest works are often born in stillness. And in the quiet of this coming Saturday, you will understand that your waiting was never empty. It was a forge in disguise, shaping steel in the soul. What has been formed in your character? Patience and obedience was never wasted. Consider St. Matthew Passion, by Johann Sebastian Bach. The monumental sacred oratorio, first performed in 1727, which moves through Christ's final hours with layered precision. It doesn't rush, it builds, note by note, until the last chord fades into a holy stillness, much like the truth in James 1-4. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. In the same way, the weight you've carried is about to drop, not because it was meaningless, but because it has already accomplished its purpose. Now, the spiritual momentum that has been building behind the veil is about to break into the open. You will look around and think, it all changed so quickly. But heaven will remind you, it was years in the making. This is not your promise suddenly finding you. It is you finally catching up to what has been pursuing you all along. But when you step into that long-awaited moment, will you walk as one entitled to the throne, or as one entrusted with the King's mission? And when that moment comes, you will know the chase is over, and the walk into destiny has begun. Chosen one, this is your moment. Rise, step into it. The same God who wrote your story is now turning the page, and the chapter ahead will make sense of every word before it. Divine timing is not about your effort finally catching a goal. It is about the goal stepping into visibility at the exact moment. Your heart is architecturally sound enough to hold it without collapse. As Proverbs 4:23 says, Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This is not merely maturity by age. It is the structural reinforcement of the inner chambers of your spirit. You have been through the pressure test, like steel beams tested for load before becoming the backbone of a great cathedral. You've matured, you've evolved, you've been tried by fire. And now the fire does not burn you, you carry it, like a forge that shapes others without losing its own form. So this Saturday, don't only expect to see something new, expect to see yourself, not the self that stumbled under uncertainty, but the self forged in the quiet laboratories of the soul, where variables were stripped away until only truth remained. This is the version of you rooted like a pillar sunk deep into bedrock, immune to surface tremors. Colossians 2:7 describes it perfectly. Rooted and built up in Him, strengthened in the faith as you were taught. You are no longer the seeker of signs. You are the sign itself. You are the resonant frequency in a silent room, causing dormant things around you to vibrate to life without raising your voice. Have you realized that this is what heaven has been building all along? You've been doing the inner work, realigning belief systems as an engineer adjusts the calibration of a bridge before it bears traffic. You've been saying no to the counterfeit so you could say yes to the covenant. You've walked corridors without blueprints, following only the compass of the Spirit. And heaven has taken note. Hebrews 6:10. God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown Him. Can you feel it? This is not the randomness of chance. It is the precision of design. History remembers people who carried this kind of intentional preparation. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, the French aviator and author of The Little Prince, once said, "A goal without a plan is just a wish." He understood the patience and structural vision required to navigate uncharted skies. Like him, you have charted routes others cannot see, trusting the instruments of faith when the horizon was hidden in clouds. The plans were always there. Now the unveiling begins. This moment is for you. You were born for it. You were preserved for it. And when it happens, when your eyes finally lock onto the evidence, you will grasp why every delay was necessary. Romans 8:28 affirme, And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. Not 1 second was wasted. Not one detour was accidental. Every setback was a recalibration. Every pause was a structural curing time. Like poured concrete hardening beneath the surface before it can hold the weight of a skyscraper. Could it be that everything you thought was holding you back was actually holding you together? And so, chosen one, step into it. This is the unveiling of the blueprint you've been living out without even realizing it. The structure is ready, the foundation is sure, and the one who designed it is calling you to stand within it. You'll be standing in front of something that doesn't just excite you, it will feel like the missing piece you've been carrying in your spirit without realizing it. It won't just fit you, it will become you. You'll feel that inner alignment, that moment when your heart says, yes, this is mine. Not because it feeds pride, but because it answers the deep call seeded in your soul since before you were born. As Jeremiah 1:5 declares, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Have you ever noticed how truth from heaven strikes differently? It doesn't flatter, it affirms. That's the kind of confirmation you can't fake. Because it's not born of ambition, it's born of assignment. And when it arrives, it will feel like the long-awaited chord in a song finally resolving. You won't need to chase it. You won't need to explain it to skeptics. You won't need to perform to keep it. It will come wrapped in peace. Like Philippians 4:7 describes, the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. That knowing will become your anchor when the waves rise. Have you realized how different life feels when what you're holding on to is holding you steady at the same time? As Saturday draws near, start noticing the quiet shifts around you, slight changes in conversations, subtle doors opening, even pauses in areas that once felt urgent. These are the early tremors of something massive about to surface. Certain people might reach out again, not by coincidence, but by divine orchestration. Certain memories might resurface not to haunt you, but to heal you. Certain ideas will sharpen in clarity, as though the fog in your mind is finally lifting. These are not random moments, they are signals. Much like the gentle stirring of the waters before God parted the Red Sea. Exodus 14:14 reminds us, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Have you noticed how heaven often moves with quiet precision before revealing its full power? Every whisper is an arrow pointing to where your next step should land. And in this unfolding, remember, stepping into the unfamiliar is not a threat, it's a threshold. The unfamiliar signals you're moving out of comfort and into calling. Don't shrink back. Don't get trapped in the paralysis of over-analysis. Just listen to what your spirit already knows. It will recognize the moment before your mind does. Isaiah 30:21 says, whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you, saying, this is the way, walk in it. What if the strange ground beneath your feet is holy ground in disguise? What if the unease is not warning you to stop, but urging you to step deeper in? History is filled with people who recognized such moments and embraced them. Harriet Tubman, known as Moses to many, once said, I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger. She followed divine whispers through darkness, leading others into freedom because she trusted the signals no one else could see. You carry that same spiritual navigation system. It is already tuned to the frequency of your destiny. And just like her, your obedience will be the bridge others walk across to reach their own promise. But just as there are those who respond to the call, there are those who resist it and lose everything in the process. King Rehoboam, son of Solomon, inherited a kingdom, but rejected wise counsel for the flattery of those who told him what he wanted to hear. His arrogance split the nation and left a legacy of division. How many today still repeat his mistake, trading divine strategy for personal comfort, only to watch what was entrusted to them crumble? His story stands as a warning. A crown without obedience is nothing but a weight that breaks the neck. Chosen one, your moment will not demand that you strive for its approval. It will welcome you. The table is already set. Your seat is waiting. But the choice to sit down is yours. So rise, cross the threshold, and take your place. Joshua 1-9 is still true. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. When you step in, you won't just be occupying space, you'll be fulfilling a prophecy. It will feel as if you've stepped into a landscape designed entirely around your essence, every contour shaped for your gift, your voice, your very pulse. It will be as if heaven studied your being and tailored the moment to wrap perfectly around you. You'll understand that this opportunity didn't simply find you, it recognized you. As Isaiah 45:2 says, I will go before you and will level the mountains. I will break down gates of bronze and cut through bars of iron. Have you realized how different it feels when a door doesn't just open? It was built for you from the foundation up. This is that kind of moment. And when you walk through it, the air will feel aligned, not necessarily light. Not without challenge, but aligned in a way that gives you strength you didn't know you had. It's like the deep root system of an ancient sequoia. Storms may roar above, but nothing shakes what is anchored beneath the surface. Nehemiah 8:10 reminds us, the joy of the Lord is your strength. Have you ever noticed that when you're in your true assignment, weariness doesn't break you, it fuels you to carry more? This is not just about fulfillment, it is about function. It is about occupying the exact space in heaven carved with your name on it. No more shrinking, no more second-guessing, no more apologizing for being powerful, anointed, and essential to God's plan. The world has waited long enough for your emergence. Romans 8:19 says, for the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. What if the restlessness you've felt lately is not your own, but the echo of the world's longing for you to finally step forward? This Saturday will be a mirror, not showing your past, but the reflection of the future you were promised. The doors will begin to respond, as if they've been waiting for your footsteps to trigger their hinges. The people assigned to your elevation will start arriving, like migratory birds, finding their way across thousands of miles without a map. Ideas will lock into place as cleanly as puzzle pieces snapping together, and the confirmations will come like waves on the shore, one after another, steady and undeniable. As John 4 describe, his sheep follow him because they know his voice. When you finally walk in that voice, nothing can counterfeit the peace it brings. This is the kind of peace that reminds me of the final chorus in Handel's Messiah, worthy is the Lamb, where every instrument, every voice, every note converges in perfect unity. It doesn't rush. It builds. It surrounds you until the harmony becomes a structure you can stand inside. That's what this Saturday will be. Not just a prophecy fulfilled, but a prophecy you can walk around in, touch, and inhabit. The favor will flow like a hidden spring breaking the surface. Clarity will sharpen, as if morning light is sweeping away the shadows in a valley. Provision will find you, the way rivers find the sea. The right people will be drawn to your spirit, like iron to a magnet, and in that moment, the spark will become a flame, and the flame will become a movement, as Matthew 5:14 declares. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. All chosen one. You've waited long enough. This is not just about a prophecy spoken, it is about that prophecy taking on flesh and breathing through you. You are the answer someone has been praying for. You are the blessing someone was born to encounter. So rise, step forward, and watch what happens when heaven's design and your destiny finally occupy the same space. And so, chosen one, we arrive here at the edge of what has been promised, at the doorway where faith hands you the key. This is not just a chapter closing, it is the unveiling of a story heaven has been writing in the unseen for years. Every delay was a chiseling, every detour a redirection, every silence a seedbed for something you could not yet see. Now, as you stand in this moment, you will realize that nothing was wasted, not one tear, not one unanswered prayer, not one lonely night. All of it has conspired under God's hand to bring you into alignment with the destiny that has been calling your name since before time began. If this word burns in your spirit, don't let it fade into the background noise of life. Protect it, nurture it, and share it, because there is someone right now silently praying for the confirmation that you've just received. Like this video to help push this truth further into the world. Share it with the ones you love. And write in the comments what resonated most in you. Your testimony could be the very bridge someone else needs to cross. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that each message finds you in its appointed time. To each one of you, whether you have supported through a super thanks or simply by showing up, listening, and standing in faith with this community, know that you are seen, valued, and deeply appreciated. You are part of something bigger than you think. A living tapestry woven by God's hand, thread by thread, through every connection He's made here. And now, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May His face shine upon you with the warmth that melts every residue of fear. May His peace anchor you when the winds of uncertainty blow. And may His favor open doors that no man can shut. Walk boldly into the week ahead, not as one who is searching, but as one who has been found. For you are not forgotten, you are chosen, appointed, and sent.